Our fellow traders, I hope everybody had a great day today. Well, our morning was not that good because nothing really set up for us, or at least nothing that we can trade. The setups were kind of broken and jagged. And the one that really gave a good opening range breakdown, I think it was BILI. Yeah, right here. I couldn't short this because I didn't have shares to short. This is a rare occasion, and this is a stock under $20 that I typically don't trade. One of the main reasons why I don't trade lower dollar, low float stocks is because I have a hard time finding shorts. Everybody's crowded or piled into it, and Sure Trader doesn't have shares to short, or if they do, they want you to go through their locate service so they can make more money off you. And I ain't falling for that garbage. So I trade stocks typically over $20. There are days where I find stocks that look good that are cheaper, between 15 and 20. This BILI was awesome. We did put it on our watch list, but I forgot to check to see if I had shorts available because I never have an issue. Sometimes I just forget to check. And this one was an awesome one. SQ was another one that we missed. And, the opening range trade wasn't all that solid. It did give us a move here. Here's an opening range high right here. It did give us that move. Hold on. I always do this so it reminds me that this is the high, not the low. But that was the opening range high right there. You could have gotten a little bit here. I didn't take this trade because the 200 was sitting too close to where I would enter. That's what stopped me from taking the opening range breakout. And you can see it did push up a little bit. I probably would have got one to target, possibly two, before we got the pullback and it stopped me out. But, I just don't take a chance. I'm not going to short into the 200. And this later on gave us a solid trend continuation trade. We actually, came through the 200, pulled back, came back through, held it. Perfect entry right here. All you had, this would have been a perfect entry spot right there as soon as we broke the high, and you never look back. This thing went from 77 up to almost 83. Just under $83. This was a solid trade. And, I wasn't watching it at the time, so I missed it. This is when I actually went to lunch. I went and grabbed some lunch, and when I came back, I saw what SQ had done. And then it actually pulled back, and right here where it consolidated, here's another good entry. But, right here where it consolidated and we broke the high of that consolidation, that's another trend continuation entry right there. But you can see how close we were to, this green to red line, or red to green line, because we were red on the day going green. But you could have gotten it here anticipating it, or you could have waited and got it here. Got it right here. And still would have been a really solid trade. So I just wasn't locked in on this. Once I missed it, that was it. And I had to take my son to the doctor. So I missed the afternoon. But this was a really, really solid trade. Really solid trader that I think I would have been able to catch if I was here, locked, engaged. But this one just kind of, got started a little bit late. And, those of you that caught it, you did an excellent job trading this. So, let me share with you my quote here. from Mr. Miyagi. You know, I gotta share my Miyagi quote here. And it says, first learn balance. Balance good, karate good. Everything good. Balance bad, might as well pack up and go home. So how does that translate to our trading? You know, really, and you know, we've got to have balance in our trading. And I'm not talking about the balance between long and short trades. I'm talking about the balance in our mindset. The balance that allows us to accept a loser just as easily as we accept a winner. Because a losing trade does not mean something negative. You know, every time somebody takes a loss, they start looking at, what did I do wrong? Or what did I miss? What should I have seen? You know, there's always the assumption that something was wrong. And that's not the case. You know, if you manage the trade correctly and you execute it correctly and it didn't work, it's nothing you did wrong. It's nothing you missed. The trade just didn't work. That's the way the market works. And I think we've beat that horse to death. That you understand, just because the setup is perfect doesn't mean it's going to work. And you're going to have, days where you can't do anything right. And that's the way you feel. You might be making mistakes, but you cannot allow that to get into your mind. You know, when you critique yourself and you start looking for things that you did wrong, that's part of the reflection process. And that's what you do after the market closes or when you shut your platform down for the day and you know you're not trading anymore. That's when you start assessing and trying to figure out what went wrong. Is it something that I did wrong? Or is it just one of those trades where, hey, the market just didn't work for me? And, move on. But we've got to have that balance, because I promise you, if you're unwilling to accept losses and you continue to get overly emotional, and new traders do this, they hate the fact that they have a losing trade and they give back some of their profit. They hate it. And it really eats away at them, because a lot of times we have a small account and we hate to lose a little bit of that money. Because for us, if we lose $100, that's not just $100 in equity. But if you're in a broker like SureTrader or CME Group or somewhere like that, where you get 6-1, that's $600 in buying power you just lost. You lose $300, that's $1,800 in buying power you lost. So in the small account, that's going to, affect your mindset. So we have to develop that mindset of accepting every trade the same, whether it worked or it didn't work. We just execute the same. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, great. We move on to the next trade. We tally up at the end of the week. That's the balanced mindset that we have to have. If we can't do that, it's going to be very, 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 very difficult to ever be a consistently profitable trader. It's going to be hard for you to get to that next level. And again, a broken record. That exercise that I have you guys working on does just that. It helps eliminate this problem, and it helps create balance in your trading. Without you even thinking about it. If I didn't point it out, you wouldn't even know it. There's a lot of things that I've been pointing out that exercise helps. And, people don't know it until it's over. And you develop the skill and you didn't even know you had it. So, gotta have that balance, guys. We cannot go on without having that balance. All right, so our trade today. was an earnings trade. And we went through this, from the beginning. I had that list that I put out of stocks that I was looking at, that I was vetting. And I said, this is the one I narrowed down. And the one that I was going to look at. Now, what you got to understand about these earnings trades, this is a strategy. I have an edge. I clearly have an edge. I've been sharing these trades with you guys for months. And every trade almost looks the same. It goes, I'll trade it long. If I feel it's going to break out, I'll trade it short. If I feel it's going to sell off. And what you guys have to get out of, number one, a lot of you guys are asking questions in chat and you haven't seen the class. You haven't taken the time to go through the class. So you have no clue as to what I'm doing. And I can't, go through an hour's worth of stuff that I did in that class in the middle of me trying to trade. It just does not work. So you got to go through that first. You got to get the fundamentals, because the chat room is an extension of the classroom. The chat room is not where you get trade ideas from everybody like everybody thinks. Some people like to use the chat room for different things. My chat room is an extension of my classroom. That's the way I look at it. Because I want you guys to learn how to be an independent day trader where you don't need me. You're going to get to the point where you don't need me for anything. That's the goal. So if you go through the class, then you'll understand, or you're going to get the understanding that these markets, when you're looking at a stock trading right now, it's trading based on where, the traders are thinking the stock's going to be next quarter. We're trading based on the projections for next quarter. So it's anticipatory in nature. The market anticipates where it's going to be, where this particular stock's going to be next quarter. So if you ever want to know or ever wonder why a stock like NTNX today beat on earnings, and the stock we traded yesterday, what was it? You guys know I got dyslexia, so sometimes the TDOC, have a hard time remembering letters and numbers. But TDOC, both of these had good earnings. They beat on earnings, but both of them sold off. Okay, the reason why? Because they got bought up leading into earnings, or they were pumped up in the earnings because a couple months ago people started buying, anticipating based on the guidance that the company put out, saying, okay, look, this is what we did this quarter. This is what we're looking to do next quarter and then the quarter after that. When that looks good, when that guidance looks good, that is what we're looking at. So what happens is these guys that bought this stock a couple months ago, this NTNX, when the news came out that was positive, when the earnings came out and it's positive earnings, the inexperienced day traders are going to start buying because they think it's going to go up. Just because it had good earnings, they think it's going to go up. But they didn't look beyond the earnings report. You got to look at what's behind the numbers. So you got to read articles. You got to read how is the street assessing this company? How do the numbers look? And going forward beyond what's being reported today. Because I guarantee you, all of these people that sold were people that bought a couple months ago, and they just started selling off. And then everybody that bought, thinking this was going to go up, is dumping. And we get this big move down. And this is what we take advantage of. This is what experienced traders take advantage of. They take advantage of the inexperienced traders. And I'm trying to show you guys what the experienced traders do so that you can start putting yourself in the right mindset that, hey, I can do this too. Now, it's just like I said yesterday. If you can't trade a simple opening range strategy, a trend continuation strategy consistently intraday, there's no way in hell you need to try to learn how to trade earnings, because this is going to drive you insane. This is trading aftermarket. Aftermarket, stop orders don't work. Market orders don't work. So it is very, you've got to have your head screwed on straight. So I have to use hotkeys. And you guys know I can't really stand hotkeys. So I just have to have a simple, hotkey that I could hit where I can put a limit order out and, get filled wherever that order hit. And you guys saw, I don't know if you were really paying attention today as these orders were going through. When I would put it out, one order this one kind of almost filled immediately. Another one sat there for a couple of seconds, and then you saw it disappear. But by the time that order disappeared, it filled at 75, but it had dropped all the way down to 37.20. So I'm hitting the bid and it's getting filled wherever it is. But if it drops, it's moving real quick. So if you're sitting there trying to type this stuff in, you're going to go nuts. So you've got to have a cool head. You can't get shook. If it goes against you, you just kill it and move on. Just like I did Tuesday. It went against me. Oh, well. Hell, I got 25 or 30 trades prior to that are all winners. And then I got this one loser. And that's another thing I don't do. I do not keep up with stats, how many winners I have in a row or any of that. Because that's another thing that inexperienced traders use, and it gets into their mind. If you're worrying about keeping your accuracy up, then you're going to miss out on a lot of good trades. If you're worrying about your accuracy. Because you don't want to take a trade because it might lose and you may go to 65% and you won't be at 70% win rate. That's crazy. And that's why I say, once you guys really understand what trading is all about, you'll be able to spot the guys that aren't really doing it or that are just pulling your leg. Because they're worrying about things that that you will have learned don't mean a damn thing, as it relates to trading. It's just something that makes them sound good and, gets your attention, but you realize it don't mean shit. It's just what it boils down to. That's what this whole deal is about. That's what my roadmap to success is about. It's about taking you through those steps. And if you're not disciplined enough to follow along and take your time and do the things the way you need to do it, you're going to keep spinning your wheels. You're going to keep, and I don't care, it doesn't have to be me. It could be anybody else just trying to teach you and show you the correct way to do it. And you're just jumping ahead trying to figure out how to outrun and do things the fastest. And you're over here, you're over there, you become unbalanced. And that's it. So, I'm sorry I went on my soapbox, but I'm very passionate about making sure you guys know what the real deal is. Really passionate about that, and that you really get the true understanding of what trading is all about. All right, so, as the weeks progress, I'm going to be, really giving you some more insight into, earnings and how we're able to get an edge in this strategy. Because once you get it and once you understand it, it becomes second nature. But you got to be able to build that habit. And it all starts back at the beginning. Just like I said. So today, 653.27. I only traded 100 shares because I wired out this morning. According to plan, this is the last day of the week. I wired out and I left like right at $4,000 in it, just in case I had a decent day. And so happens we had a decent day. So I got about probably around $4,700 in it right now, going into the first of the month. 124 will come out tomorrow, for my platform fees. So, I'll be starting back with $4,500. It'll be a little bit less, but it doesn't really matter. If we have another good month like we had in February, I'll be wiring out again in the middle of the month to keep from going over 10 grand. So, but that's it for today. That's why I only traded 100 shares here. If not, I would have been in 300 shares, and you multiply this by 3, and that'll tell you exactly what I could have made. If I was able to trade my full, normal size. All right, so, and I know this brings up a question. Let me go back. Why do I wire out? Why don't I just leave all the money in there? Number one, I'm in the United States. I'm a U.S. citizen, and I am not getting caught with more than $10,000 in an account overseas anymore. I did that the first year. I didn't realize there were tax implications. You had to damn, this is bad. I lost my train of thought. I don't even know where I was going. Okay, I remember now. I didn't realize there was a tax law and that you had to disclose that you had an overseas account. And you have to do that if you, at any point during the year, have over $10,000 in it. If you don't, and they find out about it, I don't know what the fine is now, but then it was $10,000. The fine was $10,000. So I'm going to wire out. And that's why I start over with $5,000 every month. But what I'm showing you guys, and you're going to see, here in a minute, you can make a living doing this and only using $5,000. I was matching and beating my salary every month, and I started with $5 grand every month. That's why I had the confidence and the courage to walk away when I did. and didn't even think twice about it. All right, so see you next. This is the swing trade that we took a couple weeks ago for as part of our Grow Your Dough Challenge. We are attacking this 20 right here. And we're trying to push through this. I'm going to look at it tomorrow, see if we can continue to grind up through this. And I know I get, some of you are giving blow by blow, tick by tick analysis on this trade in the swing trade chat. If you're swinging this, you don't look at this all day. That's why some of you guys got cut out of it quick, earlier. If this ends up working, you're going to be pissed at yourself because you let that intraday stuff, kick you out of the trade. You got to give it, an opportunity to work. You got to. So if we get through the 20, we got the 50 coming up here. And that's a very, very good profit target, based on what we had. So that's where we are on this right now. Still hanging on to it. Here was my entry back here at 10.08. We've only gained 60 cents, but we can get over a point on this. And I know this moves slow, but it doesn't move anywhere near as slow as you putting your money in a savings account or having it sitting in the bank doing nothing. So this is giving you a heck of a lot more. As you can see, we've gained 5.09% on this trade since we got in. What's it been, 2.5 weeks? So not bad. If you're looking at just trading a smaller account. So just to wrap up this month, you can see for the month, we gained 89, 45, 30, and this is exclusively in the small account. These numbers do not count the large account trades that I had in here. This one and this one. I only had 2 of those. But I made it a point this month to just focus on the small account, taking the $5,000 and, working it just like that's all I got. That's what I got to make a living off of. And every trade I took, you guys saw in chat. It was all live. It was all real time right there in chat. You guys got to see everything. You got to verify every trade for yourself. And all of this happened right there. So, I'm not adding anything in. I'm not sliding anything in the back door. You get to see it, firsthand. And we made 89, 45, 30 for the whole month. This week alone, we made 24, 21.07. A really solid week, in the small account. I mean, it wasn't as good as last week, but still a pretty good week. So we had some really decent weeks here. Really decent weeks. But look at this, and here's what I want to point out too real quick. Look at January's total. The total for the month in January, when I combined my Speed Trader account and Sure Trader account, 90.54.19. Okay, only 2,700 of it was from my small account. Look at what just focusing on my small account did. Here I've got a Speed Trader account with $140,000 in it that I can trade out of, and I end up with what 60, a little over 6,000. And here I'm trading $5,000, and I end up with and start the month with 5 and they end up with 89.45. It's possible. You guys see it. It's possible in SureTrader. You guys see it. If it was in GME Group, what's the other one? Alliance, TradeNet, any other account, you can do the same thing. So that myth, I've proven it wrong ever since I started this. So guys, it can happen. It can happen. Use my roadmap to your advantage. Don't give up on it. Because I was just an average, everyday guy, just like you, who thought he was smart, but realized there was a lot of stuff I didn't know. And once I humbled myself and did what I needed to do, this is where I am right now. And I don't have to affiliate with anybody, any other business or anything to help, pay my bills. Everything I do comes through trading. So you guys, it's there for you. It's up to you whether you want to take it. Well, I'm going to hit the road. I did this video this week. This is the end of week video. We are hitting the road. I'm hitting the road tomorrow around lunchtime. So I won't be able to, recap anything tomorrow. So I wanted to get this out there so you guys can see what's possible and take this weekend, join the roadmap to success, come in and start going through the videos that we've done already so you can be ready to hit the ground running this coming Wednesday. It's all there for you guys. All right, so be safe. Everybody have a safe and happy weekend, and we'll see you Monday morning.